My name is Paul Oda. I was born in Prince Rupert, British Columbia. Uh, my my parents were born in Japan, Fukuoka King, and I had one brother and four sisters. They were all born in BC. Well, we were relocated to Scriber, forced relocation, of course, because of the war. We left Vancouver, and 4 days and 3 nights later, we reached Scriber. It was April the 1st, 1942 that we reached Scriber. And we were building the road from Scriber to Terrace Bay, the Trans-Canada Highway from Scriber to Terrace Bay. I was allocated a job of being the boat cook. That's maintaining the bunkhouses. Because of the War Measures Act, we were considered enemy aliens, although we were born in Canada. We ourselves thought we were Canadians, but the government thought otherwise. It's not everybody, but the few of the people that voiced their opinion, as they say, the squeaking wheel gets the grease. There's about 4 people in BC that really wanted to get the Japanese out of BC. I myself, at 19 at the time, felt no discrimination. I had a lot of most of my friends were whites, and we got along well. But as soon as the war started, and they says we got to move out of BC, some of the friends, so-called friends, turned against us. I felt bad. I didn't think that we'd be considered enemy aliens. What I would say is we were really disappointed in the government, because being born in Canada, if you're not a Canadian, who is? When the war started, I remember my dad was building a brand new home, and we were putting shingles on the roof. And my brother went to the home we were living in, and he came back and he says, "Dad, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor." And my dad couldn't believe it. So he says, "Well, board up the place. We don't know what's going to happen." Because we were Japanese, we didn't know what's going to happen. I, at 19 at the time, didn't think too much of it. I was disappointed that there was a war on. No, I didn't have too much feeling at that time. We left Scriber around end of May, and we took a train, reached West Toronto, and we had to stop over there. We stopped over there, and a bunch of us got off, and a lot of people at the station there was looking at us. They thought we were prisoners of war, and we were speaking English. They said, "Look, they can speak English." We thought that was kind of odd, because all we spoke, I would say, 95% English and 5% Japanese to our parents. We come back from Dresden. We went to the sugar beet farms in Dresden, Blenheim, Ridgetown, sugar beet farm, onion farm, and stooking wheat. And we came back from there around the middle of September, I think it was. Yeah, we worked at the Great Lakes Lumber and Shipping, and there were German prisoners of war there, and we were all working together. We got along very well, you know. They were their prisoner of war uniform with a red circle in the back, and we worked in about the same place as a German prisoner of war, and we got along well. Oh, we got along well there. We were just work partners. We did some of the work, and we worked right beside them. So, you know, we got along well. Actually, I don't. Probably my heritage. Like I tell my wife and a lot of my friends, I belong to different clubs and organizations. And in fact, I was the president of the West Fork Kiwanis Club, uh, vice president of the West Thunder Community Center. I was the executive of the YMCA. And I got along well with most of the Occidentals. And they say, how do I feel because I'm Japanese? I say that I can't see myself. Just like you can talk to people, but you can't see yourself, just like you're in a mirror. So I figure I'm just as good as the rest of you, you know? So I don't feel ashamed to being Japanese. Like I was just said, I was president of the West Fork Kiwanis Club, and you gotta stand up in front of people and talk and make speeches. Yet you're the president of the organization. When you're talking to 99% whites, you have a little, well, inyo, in Japanese, in English, inyo means hold back. And you do hold back a certain amount.
I was just wondering, Paul, like I just listened to you talk, I thought it was really interesting. How did you feel the attitude in Canada was that you saw towards Japanese people before and after the war? Like, after the war was done and everybody was released from the camps and whatnot, did you feel that there was sort of a different attitude with the white public towards Japanese citizens that maybe wasn't there before?
After the war?
After the war?
No, not too much. Not in places like Scriber, small village, small town. Everybody knows everybody else.
Right.
Thunder Bay, we lived in the East End. It's a multicultural district of Thunder Bay. There's Italians, Ukrainians, and everybody else there. So we got along well there. You come up to Westford at that time, there was a little bit of, holding back.
What about when you were staying at the camps with the treatment by the guards, and did you find that it was sort of these guys were doing a job, or it was there was sort of a lot of tension?
Well, in Scriber is a road camp. It's not a concentration camp or an internment camp. We were the first 300 that came to Scriber, April the 1st, 1942, and they had 3 retired soldiers as guards, and they had 1 RCMP. We got along well with them because, there's 300 of us and there's 4 of them. They can't be too bossy, or some of these Japanese people are very hot-headed, and they know judo and all this stuff. And then, I'll tell you one incident in Thunder Bay. We were living in Fort William. We were at the bunkhouse at the sawmill. A bunch of them came into town, and they were called Japs. And this one guy picked on the biggest guy in the group and threw him on the ground. After that, he had no trouble. And that's the only incident I've heard of that anybody tried to discriminate or belittle the Japanese.